welcome to Makeup Spot 101. This is our very first video and prom's coming up for everyone, so we thought we'd make a tutorial to help you guys if you needed to do your own makeup. So, as we're doing quite a bit of eyeshadow, we don't want to start with the foundation because it'll just fall onto the face and it'll be difficult to get off. It'll just smudge into the foundation and it will not look right. You'll just have these brown patches underneath your eyes which won't look right. Instead of priming the eyes, we're going to use a cream eyeshadow, and just because this is sometimes a bit stronger to hold the eyeshadow in place, and also Beth's eyes have a bit more of a sensitive reaction to the primer because they're so close. So we're going to start off with a cream eyeshadow, and taking a Primark brush, which was £1.50 obviously from Primark, I'm going to take the concealer brush on the end of the foundation brush, and I'm going to take a white eyeshadow, the white eyeshadow in this cream eyeshadow palette that I've got. It was a cheap one and I've had it for a while, but you can find something just as good as this on any website, to be honest. You can probably have a look on Superdrug and find something that's cheap. So use the concealer brush on the end of this and pack it onto the cream eyeshadow. And if you want to close your eyes, just slowly massage this onto her eye. These come in squeezy tubes and everything like that, so you'll find one anywhere, they just look a bit different, so you've got to make sure you read the titles instead of looking at the pictures. Now that we've primed the eyes with a white cream eyeshadow, we're going to take a coppery brown. I got this really cheap for about £1 from a charity shop in my local town, but you can get something like this anywhere, and the colour I'm going to use is this coppery brown in this corner here. And I'm going to put that on a normal flat stiff brush, and I got my brush set from a website called The Catalogue, which was £7.99. Really good brush set. There are some brushes which I wouldn't recommend, but the eyeshadow brushes are very good. So, taking the copper colour, pack it onto the end of the brush, and you really want to focus this on the outer corner. So, take just a normal small flat stiff brush. This one's quite a wide one, and this isn't an unknown brand, but it's quite a nice brush and it's good for blending. So I'm gonna close your eyes. You want to move it side to side just to help you blend the colour out. You want to keep it as neat as possible. If you do make a mistake, the reason why we're doing the foundation last is so it's easy to rub it off and you don't have to redo the foundation and redo everything else left on your other brush. You can use a different brush, so you can use loads of different ones. I think I might actually use my small blending brush from Model's Own. And this is a very good brush, it's quite stiff, picks up a lot of colour, so it's fantastic. And I'm going to actually take this more creamy gold here and apply that on the centre just to help again blend. So straight down the centre there. So now we've applied the creamy gold shimmery eyeshadow in the centre of the eyelids. We're now going to take a white eyeshadow, and this is also going to make them pop a bit more. So I'm going to pack that on the brush and apply it to the inner corner. You want to go through a flowing gradient, starting lightest on the inner corner and gets darker on the outer corner. Your eyes a bit more dimension. You want to try and blend it as well as you can. The outer corner a bit more now, and out of this palette I'm going to take the darker shimmery brown, which is this one here, and I'm going to take this on my brush and start applying this to the copper on the outer corner. So starting darkest further out on the actual outer corner, blending it inwards very slowly. Now I've patched up the top lid with any bits of mist or any mistakes I've made. Basically, if you do make a mistake above the eye especially or below, just take a cotton bud and some eye makeup remover, and I've got one from Lancome, which is really good. But you just basically just wipe off any mistake with the cotton bud, then use the dry end to dry rid of the oils, because if you leave the oils on the eyelid, it's just going to smudge the eyeshadow and it does not help, it just makes it worse. So you just got to be very careful. It's all about a delicate hand. For me, I'm going to take a bit of colour underneath the eyelid just to brighten the eyes up a bit. So I'm going to take the dark brown and I'm going to apply it to the outer corner, joining from the top line. And please try your best. If you do this with someone else, don't poke yourself in the eye because it hurts. Believe me. If you haven't got any of these brushes, you can, for underneath the eye especially, you can just use a cotton bud. It works just as well. Now instead of putting white on the inner corner of the lower lash line, it's a bit powdery, so you want to be careful, and it tends to fall too far down. So instead of using the white and making it a bit too vibrant, use the gold that you use on the centre of your eyelid and drag it from the inner corner very carefully, just small amount. Highlighting the brow bone, I'm going to use a white eyeshadow by Me, and I use this in one of my other tutorials. And just pack it onto the brush, and if you want to close your eye. I'm not using the shimmer on the brow bone just because I don't like doing this. It catches too much of the light and makes it look like it's sticking out too much, so I'm just using a matte just to add light shading and blend with the actual colours. For lining the eyes, I'm going to take a gel liner by Maybelline New York and an angled eyeliner brush by Cosmopolitan. It's synthetic hair, so you can use cream products with it, which is the main purpose, and you just want to apply a small amount to the tip or the line at the bottom, and you want to be very careful because this is the easiest place to make it. Drag it inwards. You can hold the side of the head like this. You more or less want to angle it outwards for the wing, like this. You don't want to create a proper wing, so if you open your eye again, that's the wing, simple. And you want to make sure you take it all the way to the inner corner. Keep the line as neat as possible. I'm going to take some gel liner again and apply this to a waterline. Now, it isn't essential to do this, but it is quite a good step to do, as this can make you look a bit more dramatic, especially for the prom. So, I'm going to take your finger, pull down the bottom eyelid, and just carefully line in the waterline. Just take it right to the inside of the eye. Oh. We're now going to start on the foundation, and I'm going to use a primer, and this is going to help smooth out the foundation. What you can do is you can apply moisturiser a couple of minutes before, maybe 3, 4 or 5 minutes before, and this helps give it a dewy finish when you do apply the foundation, which will look flawless. I'm going to apply a bit of it on my hand like this. You don't want too much. If you want a really flawless face, what you can do is apply the primer to your hand and apply concealer, a little patch of it on your hand next to the primer. This is a Collection 2000 in Fair #1. I don't like this concealer just because when you close it, it seems to leak and it's not got the best coverage. You can either use a foundation brush or I've got a Samantha Chapman stippling brush here from Real Techniques. I love this brush, it's amazing. But just for the concealer, I'm going to use my £1.50 brush from Primark. And basically just want to blend them in with the concealer end, with the primer, and I'll go underneath the eyes, so if I just look upwards. There's patches on the face, just basically go over with the concealer. And you're going to buff this in all over the rest of the face, and this is going to make you look flawless. Now taking my Real Techniques stippling brush, I'm going to blend this in all over the rest of the face. This is going to also help hide redness on any of the small patches. So, taking my foundation, and I'm using a Rimmel London Stay Matte foundation in Ivory. I really like this foundation, it has moisturising properties in it and it's very good. It says here it's got cucumber extracts in it, which is really good for your skin. And apply some of the primer and both together like this. So taking it on a stippling brush, you want to focus it into the cheeks. And since it's quite liquidy at the moment, it will leave a bit liney, but then while you're doing the rest of the face, it'll start to set a bit more and it'll blend in easier if you go back to it. This was a cheap one, but it's a very, very good one, and it's called Hide It. Not a buffing brush, my stippling brush. I'm going to buff that. To blush and bronzing. And for blush, I'm going to use this £1 blush quartet that I got from Norfolk when I went, from a pound shop actually, surprisingly. I don't like using MAC products and things like that just because I think if you can find something that's just as well and it's cheaper, why not get the cheaper one? So, taking a blush brush, I'm going to get my hot pink, or with this look I think a more subtle pink will go with it. So if I use that one and the more tanned pink, the lightest one and the more tanned pink, and apply it to the apples of the cheeks. And be sure you blend it out, you don't leave any patches. And I'm going to start contouring the face. You can use a Rimmel London natural bronzer, or you can use a £1 Makeup Academy bronzer. And Makeup Academy are a fantastic make. It's a £1 makeup range from Superdrug, and they're just amazing. You need to apply this to the hollows of the cheeks right here, and you can find this by the bottom of your ear, putting towards the corner of your mouth. It's a shadow, and that's not what you want for that bit. You basically just want to go over the temple. Okay, so you can just hold your hair back for a second. Thank you. Highlighting, you just want to take a light colour. You can use a white eyeshadow, a loose powder that's a bit light in your skin tone. You can use a white pressed powder. If you are using white, be very careful on how you highlight, because you don't want too much of it on. I'm just going to use a loose powder, this is by Lid, and use a powder brush and just swirl it together and tap it on your wrist or the back of your hand. And you want to focus this on the centre of the face, down the centre of the nose, the chin, and along the bottom of the jaw. As you can see, this gives a really subtle highlight. You don't want anything. And again, just buff it together. You can do something to the eyebrows if you would like. I'm going to add a little something, and I'm going to use a darker brown. This to the tip of the brush. Tap off the excess. You don't want anything too much. You can use a brow pencil, but I'm just going subtle. And you want to try and keep in the line as much as possible, because it's very easy to mess up on the eyebrows. This is the scariest step, besides the eyeliner. That's the eyes, that's the eyebrows. I'll zoom out a bit. That's the rest of the face. You can do something to the lips, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a more frosty two lipsticks by Makeup Academy, and this one is shade 4. I really love this colour. There. This one there. Open your mouth a bit. There we go. And that's the lips. And that's my look. Please subscribe and like this video. Thank you very much for watching.